Well, she's from Ottawa and she's headed to Hollywood, which is pretty darn cool because she won a contest. Her name is Natalka Roshak and she joins us right now. How are you?
I'm pretty excited to be here, Dylan. How are you?
I'm very good. Now, you're from Ottawa?
I am. I live right downtown.
Yeah, and you're an author.
I am.
Okay.
I wrote a science fiction short story and sent it to a contest and I won.
That's pretty cool. That's all we really need to say here. You want a trip to Hollywood? I
did. Yeah. No, this contest is amazing. Okay, it's called Writers of the Future.
Yep.
And also Illustrators of the Future. So there's one for illustrators too.
Okay.
And it's strictly for amateurs. So anyone can enter, young or old, student, octogenarian, it doesn't matter, right? It's free to enter, but you have to be an amateur, a new writer or a new illustrator.
Okay,
and
so can I ask you about that quickly then? Because so you're a new writer, but you've been writing for many years. I mean, this has been in your blood for quite some time, but this is the first time you really put together a piece and submitted it.
Well, I've been sending out stories and getting rejection slips, lots of rejection slips.
Okay.
I've had some semi-pro stories published and one pro sale. The way they define a professional is you've sold more than one story. I think it's 3 stories that you have to sell in a professional market, so that means paying a certain amount and a certain amount of people read it. So just putting stuff on your blog, say, or writing stuff and sharing it around in a zine is not the same as being a pro writer. Okay,
understandable. Now, this is the Hubbard Writers of the Future contest. Quickly, Hubbard, people know that name. Can you give us a bit of a bio on this guy?
Sure. So Hubbard was one of the more prolific writers of what's called the golden age of science fiction. Right, so in the 30s and 40s, there were a lot of pulp magazines, and he was a prolific writer. The way I heard the story told is he wrote so many stories that he'd use several pen names to keep from overwhelming the magazines.
Really?
So yeah, I'm not sure about that, but he wrote hundreds of thousands of words, hundreds of stories. And in the 1980s, you know, he's a very established writer by this time, he set up this contest. He funded it, and the goal of the contest is to find and publicize and encourage and develop new writers and new illustrators.
Okay, and it's been happening now for 34 years, and he's done just that. So there's been 392 winners, 4,000 stories have been published, so now you're one of the stories, you're one of the winners.
Yes.
So how did it come to be? Did you submit your stuff in the hopes of being chosen, obviously?
I kind of send it in because why not, right?
Yeah.
So it's free to enter, and it's quarterly, so you can kind of enter just about any time. I had a friend from university way back when who won Writers of the Future many years ago. He was published in volume 19, and that's how I heard about the contest. Today he's actually a successful science fiction writer. His name is Ken Liu. He's internationally known. He's won science fiction awards, so I heard about it from kind of one of its successes. So when I had a story that I thought was really good, I'd had it rejected by a few other magazines and gotten some feedback and made it a little better each time. I thought, why not?
The story's called A Bitter Thing?
A Bitter Thing, and it is a science fiction love story.
Okay.
It's between a human woman and an alien spaceship technician who's on shore leave.
Sounds exciting.
It's a little bit different.
Yeah, you don't want to give us too much though. You don't want to give away like the the whole.
No. Do you want me to tell you a little bit about the story?
Course.
Okay, so imagine, you know, someone who wears their heart on their sleeve, right? You can tell what they're seeing from their face all the time.
Yeah.
So imagine that whenever you saw that person having a feeling, you had the same feeling. So you saw them crying and you would get tears streaming down your face, or you'd see them laughing and you start to do a big gut laugh before you even knew why, right?
Yeah.
So that's what life is like for the aliens in my story. And I have a human woman who's trying to have a relationship with someone that different.
That's interesting. So when did you write this story?
I actually wrote the story over the course of about a year as a stay-at-home mom, kind of one sentence at a time, in between everything else that was going on.
I can imagine. That would have been difficult to be an author and to be a stay-at-home mom. Lots to juggle there. Okay. So when did you find out then that you've been selected as one of the winners?
I got a phone call in about August last year from Joni Labaki, the contest director. And she said I was a finalist, which blew me away. I was sort of waiting to hear back that I'd lost so I could work on the story some more. And instead I got this phone call saying, hey, congratulations, you're a finalist. Wow. And then another one saying, hey, you've won. You're going to be going to Hollywood. So
what's next then? So you're going to be published in this book, which is going to have a whole pile of winners in there. And that's coming out in April? It's coming out in April, that's right. It'll be in bookstores in April. But you can actually pre-order a copy from your local bookstore now, or Indigo or Amazon. I'm also reading that this book has launched the careers of 12 authors that have gone on to be on the New York Times bestsellers list. Yes. So is that something that you'd aspire to? I would love to be on the New York Times bestsellers list. I would just like to be a full-time writer. Yeah. And I'm
hoping that Writers of the Future will help me get there.
You're definitely on your way. So what's next, though? What about the trip to Hollywood? When does this take place?
So it's also in April, and there is going to be so much going on. So first of all, we're flown out there. There's a week-long writing workshop, and it's with some of the big names in science fiction, Brandon Sanderson, Dave Wolverton, and there's also going to be something I'm really looking forward to called the Big Reveal, which is where we, the writers, get to see what the illustrators have done for our stories. So I've never had someone do a professional quality illustration of something that I wrote. That's really exciting.
That's very exciting. So you have no idea what the illustration is going to look like at this point?
No idea. Yeah, it's in the preprint I got, it's just this blank gray rectangle, so we'll see.
Are you also afraid you're going to hate it?
No, I know I'm going to love it, no matter what. I will definitely love it, yeah.
Okay, I just find this all interesting and exciting as well, that you've been, you know, you're writing and honestly, you've been rejected a couple of times and you just said, you know what, it doesn't matter, I love what I'm doing, I believe in it, you submitted this, and now you're going to be in this incredible publication.
Yeah, I'm very excited.
And the trip to Hollywood and everything.
Yeah.
So that goes to show those people, you've shown them.
Actually, the rejections were one of the best parts. I got an excellent rejection from a science fiction magazine that helped me make the story much better. If I hadn't had it rejected, I don't think I would have won the contest.
Constructive criticism, positive attitude. Thank you very much for being here today, and we definitely look forward to this publication coming out in April.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
We've got more daytime coming up next right here on Rogers TV.